And now, 2008 Max Payne, rated PG-13 with a runtime of 1 hour 40 minutes. This had a budget of $35 million. What do you think this brought into the box office?
It's a video game movie. I'm going to say it brought in $48 million.
Okay. Vader, budget?
It's a video. I thought it was a graphic novel movie.
No, it's a video game
movie. It's a video game movie. Budget of 35. What do you think this brought in?
What did you say?
48.
60 million.
87.
Nice.
Yeah, that surprised me.
All right, cool. Right
this movie's really dumb.
It's not.
So
it's like Constantine, but boring.
So not only was this coming off the fact that it was a video game adaptation, so you had a lot of fans of the game, but around this time, Andy Samberg had been doing his Mark Wahlberg impression on Saturday Night Live. And so when this came out, everyone was doing like their Mark Wahlberg impressions, say hi to your mother for me. In fact, when I went to see this in the theater, like people were yelling that out after every line. like Mark Wahlberg would say something, and they'd be like, say hi to your mother for me.
I mean, we're still doing that.
Yeah, we're still doing it.
How long ago was that?
2008, apparently.
I mean, that's the weird thing is how influential S&P can be.
Yeah.
S&P? Yes, we are very influential.
Saturday Night SNL. Yeah, man.
One of my favorite
affiliated with S&P. Yeah.
One of my favorite comments that we've ever gotten on a review was somebody said S&P is better than SNL. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
But yeah, the whole say hello to your mother for me. That's kind of part of our.
It's in our DNA.
It's in our lexicon. Yeah,
for sure. Jude, what's this movie all about?
All right, sir. Drugs make people see demons, and the demons kind of kill them. And there's assassins running around, and Mila Kunis' sister gets killed after she pickpocketed and failed to seduce Mark Wahlberg. And there's these Viking tattoos that mean you're in the demon drug club, I think. And Mark Wahlberg used to be DEA, but now he works cold case files, but mostly just works the one file. So after Mila Kunis tries to kill Max, kind of, she decides to work with him to track down her sister's killer. And Max knows it all somehow ties back to that cold case file he's been working on. The murder of his wife and child. Max learns his wife accidentally learned too much about the drug club, and the one guy he's been looking for all this time was his close friend, Beau Bridges, who had his wife assassinated. When Max gets too close to the truth, the fabulous Mr. Frank Baker tries to get him to say hello to the mother of his child for him, but Mark Wahlberg can't be killed by conventional methods and lives to fight drug demons another day. Discuss.
Okay.
I genuinely like this movie.
I have 3 comments.
Go ahead.
And then you're done?
Pretty much. So I love me a good Russian hooker.
Oh, it's just the chain.
Holy crap, do I love Russian hookers.
Yeah.
If there's
Did you
one
recognize her?
Should I have?
Yeah.
Timothy Oliphant?
Timothy Oliphant
It's
from...
the only place, what's his name, wouldn't hit her?
The dragon tattoo?
Was it the same chick?
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why.
It's the same girl.
I am in love with that
Except
lady.
she gets naked in...
does she get naked?
Body... What is it called?
Oh my God.
Hitman.
I thought I recognized her, but I wasn't paying that much attention.
Olga Kurylenko. She was also a Taskmaster in the Black Widow movie.
Yep, Taskmaster. And she's also
I have an infatuation with Russian.
She's a Bond girl in
because
Quantum
I don't know
Solace.
if I've ever told you this story, but my first week I was working here in Las Vegas when the Cosmopolitan first opened up. It was polluted with hookers, but not your street rat hookers, but like hookers, like high
top
end,
level.
You mean
top level.
escorts?
I mean, and
The guys with barbs.
okay, just real.
in their
I'm gonna tell this little quick story. Working in surveillance, I used to go on a lot of property walks. And the very first week we were open, I went downstairs, got out of the elevator, and went right onto our main walkway by this bar. And this absolutely drop dead gorgeous Russian blonde hooker comes up to me, and I'm dressed in a stupid suit, like a cheap Sears Roebuck suit, with my dumbass, Jerry Garcia tie. Right? I look like a fucking,
It's painting a perfect
I
picture
look like
right
a
now.
fat fucking tourist, right? It's just ridiculous. Here for a convention, and she comes up to me and she goes, "Oh, hello, Mr. Man." She goes, "How you want to party tonight?" And I'm like, and I was like, oh my God, this chick is so fucking hot. I was like, I can have so much fun with this lady. And her accent just like instantly made you feel tingly down below, right? It was ridiculous. And I had to tell her, I go, and I just said, lady,
I work here.
I work here.
That's the worst thing.
And she just turned around and went back to the bar. And I was so fucking mad because I really like this chick. And I'm married. I never would do anything anyway. But man, holy shit. She was,
Russian escorts, man.
and ever since then, I've had this thing for Russian hookers. And I'm like, oh, but man, the Russian escort hookers are just my favorite. They're my favorite.
I'm kind of mad that she died in this movie.
Oh man,
she gets like
She
chopped up.
does immediately.
Yeah, and immediately, like they introduce her, and you're like, "Oh shit, this is gonna be a great movie with them two working together." And then she goes off and dies, and it's Mila Kunis the rest of the time. And
okay,
you're like,
that was my other thing.
The kind of girl that just walks into your house as she's taking her clothes off.
That was my second point. I love Mila Kunis in this movie.
Yeah,
and I love the fact that she like speaks Russian.
Oh well, she's
for real.
She's
for
really
real.
She's Ukrainian, right? Yeah.
And I'm like, knowing that just turned me on even more. It's like, oh, Mila Kunis, she looks fierce in this movie. She looks absolutely beautiful,
a badass,
and she is a fucking badass.
I love that
in this
scene
movie.
where she's got them
it.
submachine guns. She comes in, just wrecks house. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah. And
the
the sister's like, this is my sister.
Yeah.
She's kind of a bitch.
you can't do that around me. You have to stop with that accent because it's just.
I just clenched my mouth.
Oh my God! I don't know what it is. But Mila Kunis is. I don't know if she's good in this movie, but I like her.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't have a lot to do in this movie.
I mean, she's no better in this movie than she is in the one with the Channing Tatum and his space skates. You know, but I just love her. I love her. She's Mila Kunis is hottie, man.
She is.
She's just beautiful. I like her movies and I like stuff she does.
So have any of you guys played the video game?
Nope.
Of what?
Max Payne?
I love the video game.
You love the video game. Okay.
I was a big fan of the video game before I went and saw the movie when it first came out.
Yeah.
Do you love the video game more than you love Russian hookers?
Well, it's a lot cheaper than Russian hookers. That's for sure.
That's a fair point.
Yeah,
you only
Russian
have to pay
hookers.
$60 for the video game.
You're not going to find a Russian for that money.
$60 won't even get you a conversation anymore.
Yeah.
But
Inflation's crazy right now.
and I think my third comment that besides the stuff about Marky Wahlberg, but my third just random comment about this movie is I wish they would have gotten a better bad guy than
Beau Bridges.
Beau Bridges.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's not good.
He's
not a good bad guy in this.
And your main bad guy in this epic, sprawling,
the
dark noir detective story is named BB.
My name is BB.
We get the backup general from Stargate.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, it's like
It was supposed to be a twist.
He's
It was
not the
supposed to be a
good Bridges.
twist.
They could have got the
How
cool
about, what's
Bridges.
his face? Chris O'Neill. Is it Chris O'Neill is in this movie? The old Robin from the terrible Batman
Chris
movie?
O'Donnell.
O'Donnell. Yeah. I haven't seen him in a movie since this one.
I said the same thing when he showed up. I was like, oh shit, where's that guy been?
Yeah. I don't know what he's doing lately, but
But
it was interesting.
I know the rest of this movie, I thought it was very latexy and leathery. I had that same jacket at home. I almost brought it in to wear with some sunglasses today. I thought that would have been kind of a cosplay thing. But
I can tell there's so many different influences that this movie tried to like mimic. Like the game itself is very much of like a detective noir game, and the story, like, and the gimmick of the game is that you get to utilize slow motion because it came out after the Matrix, and everybody's like, "Ooh, bullet time." So that's kind of like the gimmick for the game. You're a detective. You're going on this mission. You have to go on shootouts and stuff like that. And every once in a while, you get to use slow motion and kind of like shoot the bad guys. But this movie, like, it's clearly trying to rip off like 3 different movies. It's like Constantine is obviously a big inspiration for this movie. Sin City is another big inspiration for this movie. There's so many things in this that like don't allow it to be its own thing. And I felt like that was a bit of a...
It's another one of those movies that I wish they would have made more like Sin City.
Yeah.
Embrace the comic bookness of it. And it's just like, they were close, but they needed to take it just another 10% there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So this was a first watch for me. And when it started, like as it started progressing, like the first couple of minutes, that opening scene where he's like monologuing and you think it's like his death scene and like that whole like
under the water.
Dark noir start twist. I was like, ooh, this is a little Sin City-ish. Like this is gonna be cool. And as the movie kept going, and I was like, oh, okay, kind of maybe Constantine-ish. Okay. And then it kept going, and I was like, ugh. This movie's so fucking dumb. It's like it wants to be these movies, but is not fully committed. And then you get BB as the bad guy. When I was doing my notes for this movie, I was like, who was the fucking bad guy again? Was it that badass with the face tattoo? No, it was Beau Bridges.
That dude,
I forgot he was even in it.
The badass with the face tattoos is like he's a U.S. military member who's like joined up to become part of this experiment for this new drug that makes you like bigger and badder and during battle and stuff like that. And it goes haywire. And like you build up for this character like, oh, he's the one who's murdering all these people. He's the one who killed Max Payne's wife.
They were like, listen, we've already paid Beau Bridges. Yeah. So.
And they go through this whole thing, and then you finally get the big boss battle scene at the end with Mark Wahlberg versus this one guy, and it totally gets undercut, and like it's the most unsatisfying fight scene ever.
Yeah,
and
they're literally a group of people walking towards murdering Mark Wahlberg, and he's just monologuing about every single bad thing he's ever done to Mark Wahlberg. He's like, it doesn't matter because I'm gonna fucking kill you in a minute. And Mark Wahlberg's like, all right, that tracks.
Oh yeah.
And they just like go, and he's like, okay, it's time to murder you now. And Mark Wahlberg's like, say hello to like all your loved ones for me. and it's just so dumb.
Yeah.
The execution of it was such a missed opportunity.
Yeah, it had great potential, and
it could have been
like
great.
I think you guys are spot on where it said like it could have been all these things, but it never committed to one thing. Like commit to one of these things, it would have been amazing. But yeah, I completely agree with you. I enjoy this movie, but it's not a good.
It's an enjoyable movie.
Yeah, it's enjoyable
but it's not good.
Yeah,
yeah.
Candace.
Yeah, sorry.
As a fan of the video games, how do you feel about this flick?
I was very upset when I saw this movie for the first time as a fan of the video games.
You saw this in the theater, didn't you?
I did.
Mm-hmm.
I was very excited to go see it. And, you know, the video games, they kind of have this like detective noir, like graphic novel feel to them. They're very rainy. They're very moody. Mm-hmm. It's a very like hardcore, like crime story. It was kind of like, you know, Alex said it was inspired by The Matrix, and the bullet time stuff it was like a cool game mechanic, but it was actually inspired by the John Woo Hong Kong crime stories.
Yeah.
In that style. And in the game, basically, Max Payne is a undercover DEA agent, former New York City detective or whatever. And he's undercover with this kind of mafia group to try to figure out where they're getting their drugs from, which is this drug Valkyrie. And this drug supposedly gives you, like, it was developed for the US military to like give soldiers like enhancements, like improve focus and stuff like that. And that's where the bullet time in the game comes from, because he gets dosed up with this stuff and all of a sudden like he can kind of like hyper focus. And so it creates the bullet time effect. And throughout the game, like you're basically, there's no supernatural element to it. You're just basically like fighting your way through the mafia, and then the cops show up, and the cops are corrupt. So the cops and the mafia are after him, and he has to fight his way through that while uncovering this conspiracy. And it's a very like interesting game, and I was addicted to it. Like I played it like straight through and up to the very end. And in the movie, they completely changed the story of the game, where like the main bad guy in the game is actually in the movie, but like she plays like a minor role. The head of the pharmaceutical company.
Yeah. The one who bailed on BB.
Yeah.
When he called her and he's like, I need your help right now. And she just hangs up the phone.
The lady in the limo or something.
Yeah. And at the start of the game, it actually starts with like the end of the story, like right when Max Payne killed her. And he killed her in a very specific way where it looked like they were going to do that in the movie, and then they just like didn't. But the addition of the Valkyries in the movie, where like they're these like supernatural creatures that sort of kill you, even though like you're just like on a bad trip when you die.
Yeah,
like it was very strange.
It's very ambiguous and
I got a question about that. So they take the drug, and now they're like all of a sudden they're seeing this like this hallucinogenic weird realm. So were they like seeing the world between worlds? Were there demons and angels out there?
No.
Or were they just all imagining the same shit?
It was just a bad trip.
This is a bad trip. So okay, well then that doesn't make any sense, because everybody's trips would be different trips. Because I felt like there was a supernatural element to this.
They like Jude said, they try so hard to be Constantine in this movie, but they don't commit to it because it doesn't make sense for the story.
So then that makes the movie worse.
Well, right, exactly.
If they had made that like, okay, you take this drug and you kind of become, you get access to like this weird like world between worlds, but this world between heaven and hell where you can see the demons and the angels fighting each other and stuff. And maybe if they had like done that, but
If
it
they had
wasn't
just committed to it, it would have been cool.
Yeah, otherwise
Okay,
it's just
go
weird.
ahead.
Yeah, so John Moore, who's the director of this movie, like this was like his first really big film. And to give you an idea of this guy's talent, he directed the worst Die Hard sequel, which was A Good Day to Die Hard. Like it's terrible. Like he's a good visualist in terms of like stylistic wise, but like storytelling wise, this guy, it's very questionable. And basically he was the one who kind of like shepherded, you know, like all the changes from the original game. And it was so far afield that the guys who made the game came out before the movie was released, and they were like, this movie sucks. They've ruined our game. Don't go see it.
Yeah.
And so like there was a lot of the game fandom for Max Payne who basically were like, oh, this movie is going to be really bad. And it was. This is not a good movie.
No, it's
You know,
not
the
good.
thing I liked about Constantine with Keanu is that they did bridge that gap. It's like he was tapping into
Supernatural
the
stuff.
supernatural
Yeah.
world, where like this movie is like they marketed it as something like that, but
Yeah.
it completely was bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's
I
just,
mean,
it's
Constantine
weird.
fully embraced it.
Yeah.
This movie was just like, we're going to show you some things that maybe don't matter. Turns out they don't matter.
It's like we're gonna make some really cool special effects with these Valkyrie demon things.
So
It's like, okay, whatever.
this movie actually won an online poll as one of the worst movies ever made.
Oh, I believe it.
And Mark Wahlberg got nominated as worst actor for a Razzie for the 29th annual Razzie
I don't
Awards
think he
for this.
deserves
No,
that.
I don't think he deserved that.
Well, he was nominated twice for this movie and
The
Hat
Happening.
Painting.
Shrink.
I love that we did the hat painting thing. That's great.
This has a bunch of sequels, though, doesn't it?
Well, it was supposed to be the start of a franchise. In fact, there's an after credit scene that kind of sets up a sequel.
I don't care.
But because it flopped so bad at the box office, they decided not to go forward with it.
Okay.
I played the first video game, and I think I skipped like Max Payne 2 and 3 or whatever. And then the next one I picked up was, I think it was the 5th one in the series, where you go to like South America or something. Like the games are cool. They're a lot of fun, and the bullet time's a lot of fun to play with. It's I think it's developed by the same people who made Red Dead Redemption.
Oh,
This game's developed by 3D Realms. Red Dead Redemption was Rockstar Games.
Okay, they have very, very similar mechanics then.
So was the scene in there where he like shoots the guy with the shotgun over his thing, and it's in super slow motion with the bullets coming out?
that's the thing.
Is that
like,
a thing from a video game? Is it like a video game homage?
Well, yes, because you have bullet time in the game. But
Okay.
you can hit a button and you go into bullet time, and then you can
When
shoot
did the
all the
game
bad
come
guys.
out? Was this like around the time the Matrix was coming out, or
2002, 2003, I think was the
Matrix
first game.
came out in 99, I think.
So okay,
So a couple years after the Matrix.
So bullet time was real,
Right,
real in at the time.
And like that's the other thing that I really get irritated with this movie about is like they don't utilize bullet time in the right way.
Bullet time,
Like
so
they
weird.
do bullet time.
I
But-
should have made the drinking word bullet time.
There's only like 3 slow motion scenes in the entire movie.
Yeah. And I always felt like, I'm like, if you're gonna do bullet time, do it after he doses himself with Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Then if you want to line up with the games, then you start going into like the hyper focused
I mean, I
bullet
thought
time
it was
stuff.
cool. It was a cool bullet time scene. It just kind of weird, right?
But it doesn't work because he wasn't dosed up yet.
It'd be like watching a RoboCop movie, and all of a sudden they swerve into bullet time in the warehouse scene in RoboCop 2.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
I will.
Like, well, that's weird. That's a weird insert.
I'm gonna stand on this hill, and I think other people will agree with me. I'm gonna stand on this hill. The best use of slow motion in any movie ever is Dredd with Carl Urban.
Oh yeah,
They
you're not on a hill there.
they
my friend.
utilize it incredibly
Oh, it's
well
amazing.
because you dose up with this slow mo drug,
We have
and then
to watch that movie.
oh god, I can't wait to watch that movie.
We
Can we
have
do
to
a
watch-
freaking Carl Urban?
we
week?
can do a Judge Dredd week. We'll just watch the.
Is there 3 or
We'll
just do a 2?
We'll just do a 2-fer.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
Anyway,
perfect.
I think I can fix this movie with 2 people.
Go ahead.
Frank Miller and John Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Film directed by John Woo and written by Frank Miller.
Yes.
you go.
Perfect.
Just tool it up. That'd be great.
Done. There you
And
go.
that was
Internet.
Max Payne.
Fixed. Good job. Good job.
Listen,
Okay.
that would have been like a 6-movie series.
The thing that kills me about this movie is that it's not a good mystery, and it's not a good action movie, and it's not a good noir.
Yeah.
Like you guys,
Because it doesn't commit to any one of those things.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the big issue with this movie.
And
Like,
also, it was PG-13. Like
Yeah.
this really should have been R.
Yeah.
You know, this whole PG-13 thing, I used to think PG-13 was kind of cool, but you know what it's done is it's kind of where they have all these really cool movie concepts to make really neat rated R movies,
mhm.
but they want to get that
Audience.
family audience dollar.
Yeah.
So
Who's
they
that
tone
for?
it down for this, and this PG-13 bullshit. You know, it's like, come on, it's just make the fucking
Everything that's
movie.
PG-13 is still too scary for your
I
kids,
think-
and it's too fucking dumb for the adults.
Didn't rated R movies make money before Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom
one of
came
the
out?
most successful movies ever of the past like 5 years was a rated R movie.
Yeah.
Like there's that concept. That
Deadpool.
concept.
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
I mean,
Joker. Joker
yeah.
made like $1 billion, right?
Yeah.
Like that's super rated R. Like these things, this idea that the studios have that like we're gonna miss a demographic. Like
PG-13 movies now are just PG movies with a F-bomb thrown in there.
just one.
Just one.
And a little bit of violence.
And a little bit of extra violence.
Yeah.
It's just like, I see PG-13 on a movie anymore and I go, oh, crap.
It's probably a freaking
Probably
rom-com.
lame.
Well, you know, the worst part about this movie is that Mark Wahlberg's just boring in it. Like he has no real personality in the film.
Come on, let's be real. Mark Wahlberg is Mark Wahlberg in this movie. I know the dude can act, but
I don't mind him.
I feel like this kind of a role for Mark Wahlberg, I don't feel like he, in all three of these movies we watched this week, his emotional range is about 5 degrees.
Well, no,
from
he,
one side to the other.
He plays things so straight in this movie. But
Yeah.
if you look at another like Mila Kunis, Mark Wahlberg movie, Ted.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like he's so different in that movie, and he's like actually entertaining in that movie. In this movie, he's just so flat, and I think that was just from the direction he was getting is like you got to be like the tough cop guy, and you can't have too much humor.
You're still in mourning.
Yeah. I mean, there's things that I like about this movie. Mark Wahlberg is one of them, in my opinion. I mean, he works because he's the broken detective guy. So I think him playing himself, if that's what you want to say he's doing, then I think that worked fine.
But I mean, like there's a scene in this movie where he goes to like his snitch's apartment, and it's like this gigantic apartment where he's having this like gigantic
Big house party.
Yeah, and like people are like in a back room doing like the Valkyrie drug, and he meets like the really intimidating like guy with the tattoo on his face. And then like he walks to like his apartment, which is also like super big. Like it's just like everything in this movie is just like so weird.
Face tattoos are serious business, okay?
You know what I thought was really
Especially
funny?
when you got 2 wings going down inside your face.
Yeah. Then you know you're in business.
You know what I thought was really funny
What's
was, okay, so he leaves the party. He goes back to his house with, I forgot her name, Olga something. And then she immediately is like, do you want to call me your dead wife's name while you fuck me?
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's like, whoa, lady, that's like
Not cool.
1,000 miles an hour. And so he kicks her out. And she's like walking from his apartment. And so she's probably still very close to his apartment where she gets murdered. And then he goes to work, totally misses all of that, gets to work. His old partner's like, I got to take you somewhere. Drives him back to basically his apartment. And is like, look what we found.
Yeah.
She had your wallet on her.
I love this scene where Mila Kunis was like, oh, you killed my sister. They found your wallet at her murder scene. And Mark Wahlberg was like, do you think that's something a detective would miss?
I know, right?
I was like, perfect.
But he's spot on.
He's spot on.
It's
Yeah.
like, nobody's going to leave their wallet in the movie scene. Come on, lady.
It was a great scene. I just liked it because he was so matter of fact about it. Like, you freaking dumbass. No, I didn't kill your sister. Get out of here. That scene was
Your
great.
sister was a bitch and she pickpocketed
Well,
me.
I thought like that scene where she was trying to get him to freaking jump in bed with her, dude. Like, holy shit. She was like, oh, there's a girl that you're missing right now. Isn't you can call me her name. I was like,
Wow.
That scene was so cringy, though. She's
think
just
it was
like
cringy?
moaning for no reason.
She's a
just,
Russian hooker,
she's
dude.
She's like on the bed, still wearing her high heels. She's got like a jacket or something draped
no,
across her.
it's his sheets.
Yeah, she's got something draped across just her boobs because apparently they can't show boobs because it's PG-13.
Right.
And she's just like, oh, tell me your story. Oh,
That's
what made you moan? Is the bed vibrating?
that's why I hate PG-13 movies.
It's got one of those 25-cent things from Dumb and Dumber.
she popped in like 4 quarters and she's just like, tell me. Story.
Did we ever find out who killed her?
It was the dude. It was the dude
soldier
with the face tattoos with the machete.
Okay, but like Mark Wahlberg walks up and he's like, what happened to them? And his partner's like, her. It's just one person. There's body parts everywhere. What the fuck, man?
Chopped her up and threw her around.
He probably just ran through her like A-Train.
I mean, we saw in Pain and Gain just how hard it is to chop up a body.
Yeah.
I know. You have to have a really good chainsaw.
not some Chinese electric one.
Hold on. We'll get there.
Yeah.
We're doing that one next. All right.
Yeah, but I don't think they ever really established who killed her.
It was the dude. It was the dude with the machete, because he does the same thing to one of the other people who's addicted to the drug for some reason. I don't understand why he's killing people.
It does.
That part didn't make sense to me.
Demons.
His scene,
whatever.
Things.
You know what scene was a little bit unsettling in this movie, though, and they should probably amp that up a little bit more and kind of like made it a through line, is when they were doing the interview with the guy who's just, at this point in time, he's just a normal soldier before he gets doped up. Or I think they're interviewing him like, how do you feel when you're on Valkyrie, the drug? And he's like, I feel great. I feel invincible. And it's like, oh shit, that guy's fucked up right now. Like I was like, I wanted more of him. Like should be the main bad guy. He should have been the one who killed his wife. He should have been the one who's murdering all these people. And then that way, when Max Payne goes and fights him and beats him, that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I have one more question about this movie before we move on.
Okay.
Then you guys can talk about whatever you want. Was all the shit floating around in the air real, or was that CGI?
CGI? I don't know. It's snow, dude. It's cold.
It got annoying after a while.
So they shot up in Canada, and it would basically they had like rain and they had snow, and they just had to roll with it.
Because man, it was like really light, flaky snow stuff, and it was in every scene.
It's called summer.
I'm pretty sure it was in the indoor scenes too. It was just like, it was everywhere. I couldn't. Every time I opened my eyes.
How forgettable is Ludacris in this movie?
He was in this movie?
Yeah, I wanted to say that like Ludacris makes yet another appearance. Like we last saw him in Gamer as like a hacking genius.
Yes. Yeah.
And now he's like an internal affairs detective. And the FBI guy that he's like friends with is actually the voice actor for the Max Payne games.
Oh,
Max
cool.
Payne.
I didn't know that.
And I actually wanted to point out, you mentioned Rockstar, and they actually took over the Max Payne IP, and they made the third Max Payne game. So like the first two were 3D realms. That's
Rockstar. Where I got that idea from. Yeah, because
Rockstar is a 5-star Mark Wahlberg movie. I love that movie.
Let's see. Final thoughts. I'm gonna say my favorite scene is probably the scene where Mark Wahlberg goes and beats the shit out of Chris O'Donnell in his office.
I didn't even recognize Chris O'Donnell at first.
I'm
like, is that Robin?
The concierge chick or the secretary chick is like, are you okay in there? And Mark Wahlberg's just beating the shit out of him. This is fucking great. I had a blast with that part.
Did he come off very intimidating to you in that scene?
Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah.
I wouldn't fuck with that dude.
I mean, he didn't seem like that intimidating to me.
Yeah, I got the same feeling like when he lures those punks into the metro bathroom.
No, hold on.
That's amazing.
That was incredible. He's like,
where he holds up his gun and he like puts it down. He's like, not today. And I'm just like, oh, come on.
No, dude, that was awesome. Were you crazy?
Yeah, I'm kind of mad.
He steals the thug's gun and he just puts it in the sink, and then he pulls out his judge, and it's a freaking 38 special with like a giant fucking round in it, and he starts blowing things away. I was like,
come over here and get your watch.
I just figured it out. I think I love Mark Wahlberg. Don't get me wrong, okay? But I think I figured out just now why I have issues with him in some of his roles. How tall is he?
What?
I don't know how tall he is. Google it.
How tall is Mark? He seems very short.
He's like the same height as Tom Cruise.
That's weird.
Short people don't intimidate me. If you're under 5'10", I don't.
Oh, thank God. I made it by an inch.
You know, it's just like, I think I could take you.
You are full of shit. You were terrified of me.
Dude, Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, but you're a girl.
Listen, yoked out Mark Wahlberg is going to beat the shit out of you.
I'm not saying he's not yoked out and strong and intimidating, but I'm not scared. If you're under 5'10", I'm gonna fucking.
I'm looking it up right
I'm just
now.
gonna. You're, whatever. You know, it's just short people don't intimidate me. I laugh at short people.
Fun sized.
He's 5'8". He's 5'8".
There you go. He's a fucking midget. So that's why.
All right, let's do final thoughts.
I love it. I bring up stuff like that.
I'm
moving on.
I'm not moving on. Moving on. I'm not gonna let you go down a freaking rabbit hole with that.
Oh my God.
I know. I saw. We'll talk about it in a second. But
he's like a girl. I don't date short guys.
Yeah. It's like I like to fuck people that are 5'8". You know, so.
Oh my God, JT in the comments just said, I'm 5'8".
Yeah.
Vader wants to fuck you, dude.
Yeah. You need to get some lifts, pal.
Run away.
You're girl sized.
We have fun size and girl size.
Oh my God. Final thoughts. Give it a rating, Vader.
2 stars.
2? That's it?
2. Yeah,
Okay.
2 stars.
All right.
It's like I said, that extra star is for Mila Kunis and for my Russian hooker girl.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't have much else to say. It's an okay movie.
There's no boobs.
There's no boobs.
Yeah.
PG-13 movies are kind of lame, and yeah, that's it. I don't really have much else to say.
All right.
That I haven't said already.
Jude.
It's not great, but it could have been, which is really annoying. So we watched this movie for the first time, and then when I do my notes, I usually like to play the movie while I'm doing my notes just to see if I missed anything. So fun fact, I was watching this movie for the second time yesterday while I was trying to do my notes, and I felt like it was the universe saying this movie is so shitty that you don't need to watch it again, because my TV kept like being like, I'm not gonna play it. And it kept like pausing, but like the audio would keep going, and then it would like zero out and go back to like the home screen, and I'd have to like redo like HBO and like put it in and like restart the movie, and then it would play for another 5 minutes, and then be like, I'm not gonna play it. And I was finally like, okay, I'm gonna listen to the universe. This is a shitty movie, and I'm just gonna wing it for the rest of my notes. So I'm gonna give it 1.5 Rushing the Hookers out of 5.
Barely scraped by with the 1 scratch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't think you'd go that low.
All right.
Okay.
I got some surprises left in me in this old gal.
Kanish, take it away. What's yours?
So this is a terrible adaptation of the video game, which is actually like a really good video game with its own really good story. So that's very disappointing. And the movie's just straight up boring. It's not a very good movie on any level other than maybe visual, but even that's debatable. So yeah, I'm gonna have to just give it like a solid flat 2 boring stars out of 5.
Yep. I'm actually in agreement. It's a 2-star movie. It's got, I love how Jude said, like, it's got potential to be great, and it's not, and that makes it worse.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2 stars for me. It's worth a watch. If you've never seen it before, I would say just check it out, but don't invest a whole bunch of time. Don't like rent it or anything. If it's free streaming
If you're doing a podcast about Mark Wahlberg movies,
watch it.
Check it out.